real cola taste of it. Diet Coke, just for the joy of it. Just for the just for the love of it. Just for the want of it. From Coca-Cola, just for the taste of it. Diet Coke.
Out here we entertain ourselves at home, so we got an Atari video game. There's so many different games to play. We especially like Space Invaders, zapping those little devils from outer space. It's fun, but personally I think the whole idea of creatures from outer space is a little far-fetched.
No other company offers you as many different video game cartridges as Atari.
I'm a milk drinker. I care about this body of mine. Staying fit, healthy, trim. Milk is beautiful nutrition without a lot of calories. And even if you never give your body this kind of workout, think about what you do give it. Milk, it does a body good.
I can crouch or squat. I'm about to take a dumb look at him. He's like, better watch out there, dude. Give yourself a hammy. What, the bushes are in the way? But I'm a cat. I can get in the bushes. Who cares? Oh, come on. This is barely too high for the cat. Come on. It's one a shortcut. Here we go. Now we can zoom in, baby. Look at that. Boom. Yay. 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 Skippity, skippity, skip. I'm so happy. Took my photo. Took so long to make the money, but we're here. All right. Yeah, the Walters. Bring out your Walters. There goes the pirate hat. Sick moves, G. Thank you. Thank you for his compliment. Let me get some fans on me. I need the wind in me sails right now.
What about masks? Got a rather recognizable mug myself.
Geralt, I see, has come prepared.
Think it's a fetish of sorts.
Yes!
And I will
Yes!
for the
Did you guys
rest.
just fucking see that?
One last
Can we get a clip on that?
Inform
They
the
fucking
Sixty Fox.
acknowledge my mask.
It's over an ale, and I'll kill you with me own hand.
Thank you! Oh, hell nah, dude.
Turning out to raid passing ships is fine, but we needed a new land to have our way with. Granted,
Boom! Holy shit, dude. Nice timing, that dude. Nice timing, my man.
Pillaging these lands, but you should have done something about Canada.
Something's happening. What the fuck?
Don't worry, I got you covered. You are as good as dead. They think they can take us. They got those here.
The guy just like magneted into that car. More fucking dudes? K-Chat. Yeah, are we on K-Chat? Are we not? Oh, ready? Whoa, dude.
Firm of DeLeo and Furex, we understand that
What?
sometimes life
Did you
throws
see that
a
just now,
curveball.
dude?
We help our blue chip
Whoa! Wowie zowie! I'm not even mad. What the fuck? That was awesome. And jacking someone can also be something and stuff. Rubbing him out. Whack him. Yeah, whacking him. There you go, Papa. Exactly, dude. Beat it. Want you to beat him. Like what? You want me to beat him? What? Want you to beat him, off him, whack him, jack him, rub him, whatever you gotta do. Like, whoa, dude. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What kind of job you sending me on, man? It was wonderful. It was pretty good. Inside joke. Oh, I see. Okay. Must have been something that happened in the Wacky Wednesday show, huh? Hell yeah, man. I'm all for that. You, etc. Security will escort you off the premises. But you can't. Uh-oh. Garfingo Kayogta Hagnalki Havnig Thifa Yoshog. Thorn Walheim Ishingoth. I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take this anymore. What the fuck is happening, dude? What is going on? Bit of a snack. It's because I'm a dog. Oh man, look at that. David, oh! David!
Whoa, you really redeemed yourself, Boy Scout.
I won't
Damn,
lie.
dude.
90% of that was just me chancing it. I thought I was gunner too.
Yeah, I think this is how you're supposed to do it. Okay, I'm figuring it out. Guys. I take everything back. Everything I said is fucking nonsense. You're just supposed to use the mechanics that the game has laid out for you. Can I piss on this real quick, though? Oh, no! Damn it, I just wanted to piss on the tree! Okay, I think I figured it out, so I can stop being mad. Let's go ahead and get all these guys. All right. Here we go. Hello, Never. What's up, man? Welcome in. As is my new custom, we are now going to be not emote only until we get started. So, how are you doing, man? And it doesn't matter to you anymore now because you're VIP. Never. Hell yeah. All right, so last time. Well, let's just recap the whole thing. Just chilling at work. Nice. Hope you're having a good work day. All right. Sorry, my sleeves are a little loose here. Okay. Sweet immunity. Hell yeah, man. All right. So, here is the Hall of Domathans. Good Dom. You did a good job last week. You overestimated yourself, but it's okay. Anyways, so the story from the beginning, and now I'm going to start at a different beginning. I'm going to start at the beginning of what all happened, and we'll go from there. So we'll try to get the whole story straight from the get-go. That's what we're going to do this time. Papa said he may be available for Sea Thieves tomorrow. Would you like to join us again? Possibly. It depends if I get the stuff I need for my trombone project to advance. I might be doing that instead, but possibly. Definitely a possibility. All right. So in the beginning, Turnabout Succession. So where this case begins is actually 7 years ago. So the case starts with a group of magicians. The magicians are the Troop Gramarye. This troop of magicians consists of 4 people. You have the leader of the troop, Magnifi Gramarye. You have Zach Gramarye, who's kind of like the star of the group. And then you have Valiant Gramarye, who's also a great guy. And then we have a lady whose name we've never known. And there's a reason for that. So these are really good magicians, and they do dangerous tricks sometimes. One that consisted of using 2 guns. So the 2 men, Zach and Valiant, would stand opposite each other with the lady magician in the middle. And they would perform a trick where they would fire at her, but they would never hit her. Everything else around them would get hit with bullets except for her. And it was like a really cool trick, but one time we found out when they were doing the trick and practicing it, not on stage, something happened. We don't know the specifics because everybody is pretty hush-hush about it. But something happened to the lady magician, and she was not seen from ever again. So it's presumed that she died. But there's more stuff we'll get into in a minute. And there was some significance to that lady in that we also learned that she was Zach's Okay, she was two things. She was the daughter of Magnifi Gramarye, the leader of the magician troupe, and she was the wife and mother of the children of Zach Gramarye. So, Zach's wife died, Magnifi's daughter died, and then there's Valant. But anyways, so that's like more of the significance of what happened. So they had a daughter named Trucy, and there was actually another child that was had, we found out, and that child, come to find out, was Apollo Justice. This guy. So it's pretty interesting. And one thing that we also found out is that the Magnifi family line, the genetics, have a special ability that they have. So Magnifi had it, this woman magician had it, and now Trucy and Apollo both have it. And it's the ability to understand people's intentions or something like that. It's like they can read people really well, is essentially what it comes down to. And sometimes they need like a medal or something, like some sort of trinket that will help them use their ability. And this trinket comes in the form of the bracelet that Apollo wears. So when it tightens on him, he knows that someone is being deceitful or whatever, and so he can read them really well. And Trucy can just do it. She's really good at it, and she can just do it. Spider sense or super empathy. Yeah, it's more like super empathy, I think, is sort of what it is. You know, they just kind of understand what the person's feeling without having to actually... And it's from, like, micro movements that they see. So it's sort of like a hard, soft sci-fi ability. Not sci-fi, but, you know, like magic ability. Kind of hard and soft. It's like a medium, you know, medium rare. So it's kind of cool. I do appreciate that, you know, getting away from the Magatama and its sort of supernatural fantasy stuff there. Anyways. So let's see. So what's the next step in the story? So the lady disappears, the magician disappears, and so the troupe Gramarye goes on. And later in their life, years pass. Magnifi, the leader of the troupe, comes down with cancer. So Magnifi his cancer gets so advanced that he is going to die soon. And so before he dies, he sends a letter to both of the living other magicians, you know, the two men, Zach and Valant Gramarye. And this note for each of them says something very similar. And it says, "Come to my hospital room. I have a gun for you. It will be loaded. I want you to shoot in the forehead, one shot. And you can't refuse me because of that thing that I know." Which we believe he was referencing the disappearance of the lady magician. So this is where the case actually comes in, and where Phoenix came in. So Phoenix was the defense attorney on this case for Zach Gramarye. So Zach was supposed to be the first one to go in, because the only difference between Valant and Zach's letters were the time. It was supposed to be scheduled that Zach would come in first, and then Valant would come in afterwards. Valant claimed that he came to the scene of the crime, and the magician was shot and dead. And so that Zach had done it. And so we were defending Zach, trying to figure out how did Zach not do it. Because you know, Zach claimed not to do it. So Zach had a daughter named Trucy. So we were talking about Trucy. Trucy has this ability or whatever. And so this is where Phoenix met Trucy. And so during the trial, we're not really able to prove that Zach didn't do it. Although there was a clown doll there that had a shot through its forehead, and Zach claimed that he shot that, which we do believe is true, and he didn't actually kill Magnifi. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what pieces matter here. Broad stroke in these stories is so hard sometimes because there's so many details. I don't want to forget anything. I'm just trying to do this in order now. So during that trial, it was coming down to some evidence about Magnifi's, I guess, intentions or whatever. So there was this piece of evidence that was brought forward by the prosecution. And that piece of evidence was a diary that was Magnifi's diary, supposedly. It had a silk hat on the back, which is like a trademark symbol of the the Gramarye troupe. And this diary was missing a page. So earlier in the court procession or whatever, the proceedings of Zach Gramery against Zach, our client, we were given by Trucy a page torn out of a book that was apparently Magnifi sort of admitting, you know, or not admitting, but like saying he was going to die soon, and it was like some sort of, I can't remember what it was supposed to prove, but either way, it was sort of like him saying something about how he was going to die and how he expected to die. And we presented that piece as evidence because I can't remember what it was supposed to disprove, but what the significance of that is that we were then accused of, or Phoenix was then accused of, using falsified evidence. And so Phoenix was, you know, punished to the furthest degree. He lost his badge after that. But before the verdict could actually be given to Zach Gramery of guilty, he like smoke bombed out of there and left and disappeared, and nobody saw him again. And that was 7 years ago from when we then come in with Apollo. But we have since learned last week, we went through this really cool, like, computerized thing, the Mason system. Let me see if I can find a spot with it here. Where we got to go through all these different memories and all these interactions in the past and in the future that Phoenix went through. And during that, we found out that what happened that day was, it was actually... that cop here, Meekins here, was the one that was outside of the courtroom. And so when Zach smoke bombed or whatever, he, you know, got away. Nobody saw him leave, but when he left, apparently Meekins thought he saw him. But what turns out is that he didn't actually see. He may have seen him for a second, but he didn't. He mistaked Trucy and her wooden man for him as they ran into this room, and so he like lost track of him or whatever. And so that was one thing that happened. And what was another thing that happened in the past? What actually matters? I don't want to get through all the details. I just want to talk about what matters. We haven't really gotten to the forgers yet. Okay, well, we'll let's continue on with this. Anyway, so Zach disappeared, right? He was gone. And so then 7 years pass. Well, at that point, Trucy needs somebody to take care of her. And so Phoenix, you know, decides to take care of Trucy. Trucy immediately starts calling him daddy because they kind of have this talk. He's like, well, you can call me Nick if you want. And then he said, or you can call me daddy. She's like, okay, daddy. He's like, okay, that's fast. But yeah. He left to get milk. Yeah, that's what Zach did. Yeah, and he never came back. Milk and cigarettes, dude. Anyways, so 7 years pass. Phoenix lost his license. And there's a new defense attorney named Apollo Justice on the scene. Phoenix one day, as he is working at he's a pianist at the Borscht Bowl Club. It's because he's like, they have like a talent agency that Trucy makes with Phoenix. I forgot to mention that. And so Trucy's the magician. He's a pianist, is what he chooses to go with, even though he can't play the piano. But what he really does is at the Borscht Bowl Club, he plays poker, and he actually uses Trucy to his advantage, and he actually gets Trucy to come to big games and then kind of give him tips about what the other person's got going on. So he's never lost a hand of poker. So while he's working one day, this guy comes in, and it's, lo and behold, Zach Gramery, who's been missing for 7 years. And he looks very different. Let me see if I can get that. Here we go. This is what Zach looks like, bam, in the future. So you have Zach Gramery comes up, and he's talking to Phoenix, and what was it that he wanted? We inform him about how Valent is about to, he's about to be declared dead, so Valent's going to get all of the rights and everything. And so Zach's actually here to kind of like do the right thing in his mind, you know? And he understands that apparently Valent has had a hard time because there are people who believe that Valent actually like framed Zach and stuff, you know, like it's like this bad press that he's never been able to get rid of, and this bad energy, and Valent's been trying to come back from it this whole time after he's lost both his mentor. I think he had a crush on the girl on Zach's wife, and he lost Zach, you know, like his whole like troop is just gone. So he's been trying to, you know, get back on his feet, and after this 7 years is up, Zach's rights to all the IPs are up, and then he'll be finally able to use all the magic. And so we tell him about that, and he's actually there to give all of the rights not to Valent, but actually to Trucy. He wants to give all the rights to all the stuff to Trucy. Quite the pickle. Yes, quite the pickle. Poor guy. But yeah, Zach wants to do that, but he also ends up, after we talk to him, I think we kind of convinced Zach to throw Valent a bone here and to confess. We didn't ask him to do that, but that's what he ends up doing. He decides to confess to having killed Magnifi, even though he didn't do it. He still maintains to us that he didn't do it, but since he's gonna continue being disappeared or whatever, he wants to try to give something to Valent by like putting this like thing out there where he's like, okay, I did do it, but you know, you'll never find me or whatever, but all this stuff. But ultimately that doesn't matter because there's something that happens. And we know this from the very first case of this game is Zach dies that very same day, this very same night. Zach was playing cards with Phoenix and is murdered by none other than a Gavin, and it was what was his first name? It's not Clavier. It's Clavier's brother, Gavin. I don't remember his name now. But either way, he ends up killing him, right? And so we know that, but we don't really know why. We never really got a good motive as to why. And we still actually don't quite know. I just have theories on that. But yeah, so he ends up killing him, and so this is when Apollo Justice comes into the whole story, because we end up defending Phoenix, saying that Phoenix didn't kill Zach, and so we end up getting this Gavin guy and put in jail because he's the one that actually killed Zach. But he wasn't under the name Zach. He was under the name right here, Shoddy Smith. That's what he went by. That was his alias. So Zach died as Shoddy Smith and not as Trucy's father. But unfortunately, at some point, I assume Trucy's going to understand that her father was the victim of this first case, which is pretty crazy. Okay, so then what matters? So that brings us to the present day, right? Okay, so now we are in a case that is still tied to this one in a way. We're finding out how it's tied to it. And so our current case is that we are defending a girl who's accused of murdering her father, and her father was known as is now known as a forger. So he used to forge artwork, but he didn't always forge artwork. He also forged evidence sometimes. Comes out through the court case, blah blah blah, that it's actually the daughter that was the forger. So the forger's still alive. The victim was just the father of the forger, and so we're trying to figure out who asked her to forge this evidence, because it turns out that when Phoenix lost his license all those years ago, that the evidence that was forged in that situation may not have been the page that Phoenix had. It may have actually been the book that Gavin was holding. And so the person who was accused of losing or of using false evidence may have been backwards. So Shoddy Smith, Shady Smith, a Smith of Shades, a magician. Okay, yeah, I could see that. Is that what that's what they're trying to go for? Because they always do like some sort of reference or like a pun or something. So I could see them doing that. I think that's what they're going for. Never. God, it's so crazy. Anyway, so shit, where was I? Lost my place there a little bit. So we're trying to figure out. Okay, yeah. So she was the one that forged that evidence, right? That diary. And so Gavin's like sweating buckets because he's like, oh shit, what was the forged evidence you made? She was like, it was an entire book. He's like, what did the book look like? She's like, it had a silk hat on the back. And he's like, what? And then we were like, so who's the one that asked you to make that? Because that's like a huge deal here, because they never found that out. And she's like about to try to explain it, and she says it was the devil. And so through this Mason system thing, one of the things we got to do is we got to talk to Vera again. And Vera, we got from Vera that the person that she was talking about, I believe, and I don't know if it was spelled out yet, but I very firmly believe was Gavin. So Gavin somehow enters this picture where, and not Clavier Gavin, but his brother Gavin. So he was the one that got the evidence forged that he then gave to his brother Clavier Gavin, who then used it as evidence or whatever. But he was so convinced that Phoenix was gonna give the false evidence that he accused Phoenix of it, and I guess Phoenix couldn't verify the source of it because he was just given it by Trucy, right? So, but bad move on Phoenix's part, to be honest. So yeah, drama. let's see. Cut to the chase, Dom. So that brings us to, that's basically the most present moment. This is like flashbacks for Phoenix, and so we've kind of learned that Gavin is somehow a part of it, and that she refers to him as the devil for some reason. But he was very nice to her, but I think he's like the devil in that he's kind, but he has some sort of sinister motive or something. I think that's what she's trying to get at. So I think that was the big reveal. Because we also talked to Gavin, and we found out that Gavin... Oh, yeah, okay. That was one of the other big connections. Okay, so when the night of the murder that Vera was accused of, the forger, when she was supposedly had killed her father had sent hastily a letter off in a yellow envelope. And that yellow envelope we found... Gads! What's up, Buddha? How's it going, man? I am in the middle of my crazy recap. I'm trying to recap the whole story as best I can so far. It's so long and convoluted, but I'm almost done, and we're getting into it. But I hope you're doing good, man. I was lurking on your stream there. I know I said a few things. I was there, but it was a good stream today, bud. I hope you're enjoying Borderlands. And yeah, thank you. Yeah, I made them myself. It's a little bit of Sharpie on there just to try to give it a little bit more of the Apollo Justice feel. Let's see. Anyways, so just to wrap it up, my theory, I just want to state this again before we get started today, because I think this is all going to come out, is that Gavin is somehow connected to the female magician. I don't know in what way. But he was maybe in some ways taking revenge on Zach and Valance in some way with this act. I don't know exactly how that works, but I think that's why Gavin ended up killing Shady Smith or whatever. I think it's because somehow his wife died. Because we don't know anything about that accident. I think we're going to learn about that today. That's one prediction I have. And I think that Gavin, somehow that's going to tie Gavin, when we learn about this lady, to this whole situation and all the Grammarys. And I think that La Mirror, that guest that Clavier had at his concert, she had amnesia and everything, if you remember, and she looks actually quite a bit like the missing magician lady. I think that La Mirror was Apollo Justice's mother, Trucy's mother, and Zach's wife. And possibly an ex-lover of Gavin's or something. I'm not sure. I don't know how that connection is going to come out, but I think it's got to have some sort of connection there. So yeah, those are my predictions. Is that La Mirror is somehow going to be in there. I don't know how all of La Mirror's stuff fits in with the Borginia stuff. I don't know how that's going to fit in there, but I think that's going to be the missing magician lady. So she didn't die, but somehow something happened to her and she got amnesia. I don't know exactly. Maybe she ends up going to the hospital and forgets who she is, and it's just like some crazy mishap. Who knows? It's an Ace Attorney game. But there's the recap. So I think we can get going now. Man, that was a long recap. But it helps me. Yeah, it's so complicated, dude. I don't really expect anybody to actually retain any of that, if I'm honest. It's mostly for me. Hopefully, if it helps you guys, I think that's great. And I hope that it does, sincerely. But it helps me. If no one else, it helps me. Because at least it's straight in my head, you know. I've at least thought about all these pieces. See what I'm saying? All right, let's get started. Let me mute. Let me turn my Xbox controller back on. Pause the music. Now I do the same refresh, the most important for the player. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think it's good when you're trying to look at these, especially with how complicated they are and how long it is between playthroughs. I think it really helps to do that, like on recap. I try to broad stroke it. If anybody like asks me today for a recap, you know, like Stella commonly does, I have the recap command. If any of you guys don't know, and if anybody ever uses that, I try to broad stroke it a lot more. I just try to like say like, okay, this guy's a magician. This is what's happening, and this is the kind of the angle we're coming from, and we're done. Refreshers are Pog. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you guys. You guys are being so nice. Oh, there's Stella. Welcome in. Welcome in. Not good to see you, Dom Dynamite. What are you doing? Jeez, at least she goes away now. I gotta fix that, dude. What the fuck, Francie? She's just saying hello to me now. They made like an update, and it's messed a bunch of stuff up. I gotta fix it. Getting all that love out there. Maybe we could be helpful if you wrote down the recap so it's easier for you to verbalize things. It would be helpful for me, but I do not have the time. Nor will I ever remember to do that. I've done it a couple of times. I've done that. One time I even remembered enough to make a Star Wars style scrolling thing. I think I did it for a Yakuza game. I can't remember what it was, but I think one of the guys talked about how that would be cool. And I'm like, I think you could do that with a couple of plugins. And so I made it all work and everything, and I made it look like a notepad document and everything, so I could try to update it. And I never find that time, man. You know, but between like work and now, I'm a lazy piece of shit. Let's just put it that way, okay? I'll be honest with y'all. All right, anyways. I have gotten better at it, I think. If you go back to my old streams, I bet I would be a mess. I'm trying to recap this stuff. Not that I'm that much better now. I think I vaguely remember the Star Wars one. Oh, were you there for that, Never? I can't remember how long ago that was. Oh, sorry, not big highs, noggin hurts. Hope you're all well, Dom. Thank you for streaming as always. Activating lurk mode. Sounds good, Stella. Thanks for being here. I'm sorry to hear you're not feeling so good. I hope that chicken soup is tasting good and making you feel better. Streaming only. Yeah, I will. You know, thank you. Appreciate the reminder. All right, activating emote only for all you folks out there. There you go, Boona. You got it. You figured it out. Is this working? Oh, I need to pull it up. You can barely see your name there get pulled down, and I need to. Yeah, when I added the borders, I screwed some of that stuff up. All right. Anyways, emote only. Apologize to anybody who's not a VIP or a mod, but I do that for spoiler reasons, especially since we're getting close to such a complicated stories, and the risk is high, and I don't want that. Thank you for the alert, guys. I appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoy the voices. Without further ado, let's get going. Welcome to court. 7 years, all leading to one verdict. A verdict which you must decide. Is the defendant Verma Misham innocent or guilty? The courtroom doors are opening. The trial awaits. Are you ready to begin? Is he talking to the jury, I guess? That's what it sounds like. They would be the jury. So that's what we've been doing this whole time? Is we've been the jury? Looking over the evidence? In like a cool science fiction-y way? That's cool. Because this is like the Mason system is what they call it. It's all caps, so it's like an acronym or whatever. So we must have been the jury because they've all been watching remotely. That's pretty cool. Preparations complete. Episode 4, Turnabout Succession. Something inside me, rising, surfacing. Something important, lost long ago. It's close now. So close. October 9th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 3.
Court is now in session for the trial of Vera Misham.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution's ready to rock.
Prosecutor Gavin, how is the defendant, Vera Misham's condition?
Acute atroquinine poisoning, according to her physician. She could die at any time. Thus, her absence from the courtroom today.
What? They can't put her on trial without her being here.
It is unusual.
They should wait for her to get better to do it then. It's so bureaucratic of them.
That's being a little harsh.
never have the voice ready.
They can't delay the trial any longer, or they risk having no one left to try.
A trial without a verdict can only cause grief. The records of this case and experience tell us this. Apologies to the defendant, but the show must go on.
Right. If Vera dies, the trial will be canceled. I'm not going to let that happen. Mr. Wright told me everything that's been going on behind the curtain all these years. I'm going to get Vera her innocent verdict while there's still time.
Yeah, I guess that's one detail I didn't go over. This might be confusing. Vera, when we were trying to get her to tell us who the person who commissioned the forged evidence was, and when she was about to tell us, she fainted. I missed that point. And when she fainted, we ended up rushing her to the hospital. It turns out that she had acute atropine poisoning, which is what her father died of. And so it seems that someone had poisoned her during the recess or whatever that happened between when we had started the court session to the end of it. I think there was a recess, and she must have been poisoned then, I guess. So,
very well. Your opening statement, Prosecutor Gavin.
The prosecution's case is unchanged by recent events. Why did Vera Mishin succumb to poison? Because she couldn't live with the guilt of what she'd done. You think she did it herself, Clavier? But Vera was poisoned with the troconine, the exact same poison that took her father's life. What better confession could you ask for? Being the killer, she would have had access to the poison. Significant, since it's rather hard to come by.
That is true.
In other words, I see no need for further discussion. We could have had our verdict yesterday.
Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no objections, I see no reason to postpone a verdict.
What we need to worry about isn't the verdict, but the trial itself. The defense holds that Vera Mishin is the victim, not the killer. If that's so, then you have to prove something. She was in court giving her testimony before us. How do you propose her killer poisoned her? Oh, and incidentally, it would be nice if you told us who her mystery killer was. How are you? What? Come on.
The prosecution's objection is sustained. I ask the defense to prove its claims to the court. Tell us how Vera Mishin was poisoned.
I've got two things to prove here. Who did it, and how. Which to hit first?
The who or the how? I have no idea. Did we learn that? I would assume it was Gavin who did it. Christoph, that's his name. I would assume it's Christoph. How he did it, I'm really not sure. But I mean, he seems the one to be behind all of this. Let's start with the who, because I think it's Gavin. Oh, what did I say that triggered that? Oh, that's weird. Sorry. Distracted. Just who poisoned Vera Mishin? I have a name for you. Just a moment, Air Forehead. You are aware this is an accusation you're making. I think a bit of risk is in order. This much to be precise.
I understand. No problem. I know what I'm doing this time.
Then let's hear it. Who poisoned Vera Mishin?
Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna have to gum save on that one. Do a little gum save. It would be Christoph, I guess. I mean, Spark Brutal is around, but I don't know he would get anything from it. It had to be Kristoff. Because if he was the one that she would have been like exposing, it has to be him, right? Because she said the devil, and there was very strongly suggested that he was the devil. So it must be Kristoff. Take that! Take that!
What? What's this? Kristoff Gavin?
What's your game? My bro. There's no way he could do a thing like that. You should know that better than anyone else.
Indeed. He is behind bars.
I know. However, that doesn't mean it was impossible to do what he did. What? Kristoff Gavin had the opportunity to poison Vera Meacham.
Apparently, the defense has something in mind. Let's see what it is. How did Kristoff Gavin, currently in solitary confinement, poison her?
With the, nail polish? Because that's the only link between them I could think of? Because they have the same type of nail polish somehow. I mean, out of everything. Because then she could have, like, bitten her lips. I think that's maybe one of the things she does. Alright, let's do a different button gum save. And try the nail polish. Take that!
What's this? My, what a beautiful bottle. I'd like to give whoever designed that a hand.
Is that nail polish?
It's colorless.
Ah. Something the matter? No, nothing. Nothing at all.
So the killer put poison in this bottle and made her drink it?
As Prosecutor Gavin has told us, this is nail polish.
Nail polish? What?
It's like paint for nails. Know any women with red nails?
Ah, my wife has red nails. I see. So she's been painting them all this time.
Oh, come on, Judge. Let's recall yesterday's trial. Remember when Vera was testifying to the court?
The court is now back in session.
Vera seems pretty tense. She's practically chewing her fingernails clean off. Whenever Vera became nervous, she had a habit of biting her nails.
Her nails?
Oh. Prosecutor Gavin? When the prosecution had Vera examined, did they check her nails?
Bailiff, have them check the defendant's nails at once.
Kristoff Gavin didn't have to poison that bottle the day of the poisoning, Your Honor. The moment Vera first held that bottle in her hand, her fate was sealed.
But wait. This business about Kristoff Gavin giving that bottle is only conjecture. It's simply inconceivable.
Prosecutor Gavin doesn't seem to think so. Oh, he's sweating bullets, dude. That face tells me one thing. Kristoff Gavin's own younger brother doesn't find it inconceivable at all.
Well, Prosecutor Gavin, if you feel there is a clear and pressing need, then we may have to summon Kristoff Gavin from jail as a special witness.
Fine. I've known for some time that an impenetrable darkness lurked at the bottom of this. A darkness that has swallowed even myself. Okay. The defense's wish is granted. Let prisoner Kristoff Gavin take the stand.
It's funny how, like, he's the one that gets to decide that. Shouldn't the judge, like, be in charge of that?
Bailiff, begin proceedings to call a special witness. The witness is Kristoff Gavin, currently residing in solitary cell 13 at Central Prison. Get his ass in here right now.
Ah, Your Honor, how nice to see you again.
It's been quite a while, hasn't it?
To what do I owe the pleasure of your company? It's not every day I'm summoned from my solitary cell. In fact, it's never. I think you already know Mr. Christoph Gavin. Ah, Mr. Justice. I hear you've been doing quite well for yourself. Why do I feel like somehow he's still my boss?
Stiff upper lip, Apollo. You can do it.
Does this bottle look familiar? Eridani nail polish? Why, yes, I used it myself. As did the late defendant, I hear. She's not dead yet! And? Was there something concerning this bottle you wished to ask me about? I admit I respect her for her taste in nail polish. Her taste, indeed. The nail polish was how Vera Mishin was poisoned. Atroquinine, was it?
You're well informed about the case, Mr. Gavin.
Even in solitary, much comes to my desk. I have nothing to do but read. Well, Clavier. Maybe you can explain this. You're being accused again. By him. Again. Ah, and? You agree with his accusation, do you?
Let's hold a proper trial, shall we? Christoph Gavin, your testimony, please.
I'd be delighted.
The charges against you are quite severe, Mr. Gavin. You are suspected of poisoning of the defendant, Vera Mishin. Please testify on this matter to the court.
Poisoning Vera. Owning the same nail polish does not a murder make. I have been in solitary confinement for half a year. How could I poison her? Their father died of the same poison, the meaning of which should be clear. The prosecution's case holds she poisoned her father, then attempted to poison herself. Surely you aren't going to suggest I was responsible for poisoning her father too. I mean...
I mean, with her father, like, I don't think anybody, like, killed him on purpose. I think that was an accident. I mean, who could have foreseen that she wouldn't have used the stamp she was instructed to use? You know what I mean? I mean, maybe that's why it had the true grammary on it, I guess, but how would he then be aiming it at the father? I don't see how that works, but we'll see. We'll see if we come around to that.
Well, I'm afraid the defense's claim is sounding rather unlikely.
Naturally. For one, I don't even know the Mishams. Isn't that so, Mr. Justice?
Very well, Mr. Justice. Begin your cross-examination.
I'm accusing Christoph Gavin, my ex-boss. But I know he poisoned the Mishams. Question is, when could he have done it? Not to mention why.
Cross-examination, poisoning Vera. I mean, so far, I guess I've been right about all my choices. I'm just kind of like realizing that. So that's good. Nice. Owning the same nail polish does not a murderer make. Oh, I see. He's going to be difficult. Look, we got to use our superpower. We got our bracelets lighting up. That means we're going to end up using it at some point. Okay, so we got to press, because that's one of my rules. Let's do a little save real quick. Okay. Owning the same nail polish does not a murderer make. Hold it! Yes, it does. Tell me, is this nail polish expensive? Eridani is a nail polish of the highest order. Not only is it fabulously expensive, but it is made in extremely limited quantities. And you and Vera just happen to both use it? That can't be a coincidence. I'm guessing it's not a coincidence. Huh? It's simple. Eridani is the best nail polish one can buy, correct? Then, if one wanted the best nail polish, one would buy it.
That makes sense. Well, it's a bit like my feelings toward my brand name Gravel here.
Or Gavel? Oh, Gavel, yeah. His hammer, his gavel. His brand name Gavel.
All right.
And my silk top hat.
Are we all done showing off our refined tastes?
Please continue with your tasteful testimony.
I've been in solitary confinement for half a year. How could I poison her? Hold it! You totally could have. Can't you still contact... Oh, wait. Can't you still make contact with the outside world in solitary? Ah, so he had an accomplice on the outside. Is that your latest accusation? I'm not allowed a certain... or I am allowed a certain modicum of letter writing. But the contents of those letters are closely checked. It would be extremely difficult to send a hit request.
Prosecutor Gavin's on the warpath, isn't he?
Yeah. You think so too, Trucy?
I bet I know why. He must be nervous with his big bro watching.
And maybe that's a weakness I can turn to my advantage.
Are we cool with that? May I continue? Her father died of the same poison, the meaning of which should be clear. Hold it! The defendant is not dead yet! There are no known cases of someone surviving a troquinine poisoning. You seem to know a lot about a troquinine. I've used it to kill several... I know a lot about a lot of things. Which is why I suggest we pick up the pace. Or else you'll be short one defendant for what she's worth.
The witness will refrain from speaking ill of the...
My apologies. Shall I continue? The prosecution's case holds. She poisoned her father, then attempted to poison herself. Hold it! Vera had no reason to want to commit suicide. And also, who would commit suicide by doing their nails? The answer's quite simple, basically. Allow me to explain. Begin with, why did she do it? The answer's quite simple. She couldn't live with her own guilt. Next, why did she use nail polish to poison herself? This too is simple. So she could die doing something that she liked. Something that she liked? When she saw that the trial wasn't going her way, she knew she would die. And it's not easy to bring poison into a courtroom. Must I explain further?
I believe that's clear enough. Crystal clear.
Wow, the two brothers together is like a two-man wrecking team.
They could use a little more teamwork, though. How about not, though? Because we're against them? Surely you aren't going to suggest I was responsible for poisoning her father, too. Hold it! Both Vera and Mr. Misham were poisoned with the troquinine. That really can't be a coincidence. The defense is repeating fallacious statements based on conjecture. The prosecution requests concrete, unambiguous proof of the witness's crime.
Objection sustained.
Or sustained.
The defense will please present concrete proof.
Does Prosecutor Gavin seem strange to you, too? It's like he's all grown up.
I think that's how prosecutors are supposed to be, actually.
Though he is acting different than usual.
He's all flustered because his big bro's out here, bruh.
I'll bet he has a lot to do with his brother Christoph being in the room.
Well, let's make this testimony count, Apollo.
Right. Quick and painless.
My bracelet should do the trick. Okay, I'm questioning my ex-boss. His testimony seems watertight, but he's lying. I'm sure I'll be able to see something, as long as I focus.
Alright, let's see. Can we see it? We can never really see them without going into the mode. Let's see, which one would he lie on? Owning the same nail polish does not a murderer make. I mean, I guess fair enough. I have been in solitary confinement for a year and a half. How could I poison her? Father died of the same poison. The meaning of which should be clear. Poison the father, intended to poison herself. I think this one because he goes to touch his glasses too. So maybe something with his fingers twitching there or something. Let's try that. Gum save.
Use the bracelet, boy.
Oh, look, he's like looking at us through the glasses. I didn't realize that. Look at his eyes the whole time. See if he falters. Oh, he's got a scar. Oh, there we go. Yeah, his hand pulsates there. Hear it again. He's got a scar on his hand too. I'll let you guys see a little closer. There it is. Perceive. There. Confirm. Gotcha.
It was you who killed Drew Meacham.
A bluff worthy of your new mentor, Mr. Wright. Oh, really? But you see, I saw it. Right when you said her father, too. Your hand tensed unnaturally, and a little devil appeared to give me the news. And let's assume for the sake of argument that you saw me being tense. What does that mean? Are all tense witnesses guilty? And tell me, was Drew Meacham fond of nail polish too? Sorry, but there's more than one way to poison a man. You don't need nail polish to get to someone's mouth. Ah. Then I must be very talented indeed. You see, Drew Meacham was killed on October 6th, while I was already in my solitary confinement cell at Central Prison. If that's not an alibi, then I don't know what is. But you found a way, all the same, and I found it too. And this is how you poison Mr. Meacham.
Okay. Come save. I mean, it was the letter, right? Is the actual stamp? Okay, here's the stamp. The commemorative stamp. I guess I should show the letter. The envelope, because that's what he would have sent, right? Was the red envelope? Okay, I mean, it better be this. This makes no sense to me.
Take that! My. And here I thought you'd come so far. Huh? I admire how you, lacking any confidence whatsoever, choose to barrel on. Your defense lacks even a shred of elegance. Much like Phoenix Wright, come to think of it.
Damn it, that was not it. Fuck, it made no sense to me. Okay, maybe it is the stamp itself. Because the stamp was like the weapon, if you will. It's the thing that had the poison on it, right?
Take that! I'm sure this commemorative stamp requires no introduction. There we go. The night Mr. Meacham died, he was seen writing a letter. A trochone was found on this stamp, Mr. Gavin. So am I to understand this stamp was the murder weapon? Yes, you are. Oh, and yes, the stamp was found in your prison cell.
Shoot, dude, we got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
That is all, Your Honor.
Order, order. Do we have it? Here we go.
Order! Order! Very rude for members.
Put poison on the back of that stamp.
Yeah, we already went over this, Judge. You knew that. Order! After Drew Measham was killed, someone paid a visit to his this witness's cell. Phoenix Wright.
Daddy?
That's when he found a stamp. You made Drew Measham write you a letter. That's how you killed him.
What?
My. You've upset my poor brother to the point of uselessness. Allow me to clarify this matter, Justice. All you need to do is recall witness Spark Bruchel's testimony. How would he know it?
Well, that's the thing, see? After he put his letter in an envelope, Mr. Measham sat there searching his desk drawer for something.
His desk drawer?
Yes, a stamp. A so-called postage stamp. End quote.
He was looking for a stamp. Ergo, he had no intention of using this stamp. What are you getting at? What I'm arriving at is that it's manslaughter, not a first degree. I mean, what I'm arriving at is that this commemorative stamp was in a frame. It was mere coincidence that he used it that night.
That would seem to be the case.
Or perhaps you mean to suggest that I can somehow manipulate coincidence?
He does have a point. How would this witness know if the victim was going to use that stamp? Without that, he couldn't have planned the murder.
What? That means that it wouldn't have been first degree, but he still could have been the one that killed him. Got him killed. I mean, it's if he sent the stamp, right? It's whoever sent the stamp, not getting him to write the letter, but sending it in the first place. That's going to be more like him being the murderer, right?
Really, Clavier?
You should be seeing through these weak-spined bluffs by now.
He's right, though. How could anyone have known Mr. Measham would use the stamp that night? Least of all, Christoph Gavin locked away in his cell.
Well, it seems that the defense has run out of things to say.
You assume he had something to say in the first place. I believe the defense's bluff has been called. The defense's bluff. I'm not sure I agree with you there, Christoph.
Clavier.
Honestly, I wanted to believe you. But the defense wasn't trying to get away with a bluff. You were, Christoph.
What are you saying, Prosecutor Gavin? That's your own brother.
Forehead. What was your accusation again? This is great. This is like one of my favorite parts of these games. When the prosecutor, who's been against us for so long, is finally on our side. I love these moments. These are like, these are great. I love this.
What was your accusation again?
Huh? Oh, it was that this poison stamp killed Drew Measham. Yeah? To which my brother responded thusly. There was no way to know when Measham would use the stamp.
Yes, that's right, which is why it couldn't have been planned.
Yes, but I think it's the fact that he would have said it that way, right? Because when to use it? Tell me. It needs to be planned. Why? Why couldn't it have been a coincidence? Why couldn't it have been a coincidence? The defense's case is simply that Drew Measham died by that stamp. That's all. Coincidence? Christoph, you tried to slip out from under the accusation by changing the subject. If that's not bluffing, what is it? What are you up to, Clavier?
I could ask you the same question, Christoph. I silence the defense with the fewest words possible. It's called efficiency. But Mr. Gavin, that's impermissible testimony. Very well, I shall take this claim head on then. Justice. What? You accused me of Drew Measham's murder, yes? Then allow me to ask you, what possible reason could I have to kill a painter?
Apollo! Motive! He's talking about a motive!
Like, yeah, I know, Trucy. But thanks for chiming in. Indeed. It's hard to see how an attorney could come to want to kill a painter.
Well, you see, he's doing it again. He's framing it. He's like changing the subject. Like he's not a forger of evidence anymore. Now he's just a painter. He's not even a forger.
Now here's something. Why didn't he bring up the motive from the very beginning? Unless he was afraid it was a battle he might lose.
So what does it mean?
It means there might be a weak spot. Maybe I have some evidence to prove a motive. A motive for murder. This is a vital, if not the most vital, element of this case. Please consider this when making your statement. I'd say it's about this vital.
Oh, damn. Yeah, that's quite a bit. That's pretty vital, dude.
That's pretty vital.
Well, Mr. Justice.
I'm going through with this no matter what.
Understood, Your Honor. I'd like to present evidence. Then let's see what you have for us. Show me what you got. What reason did Christoph Gavin have for wanting to murder Drew Measham? What possible reason? Let's see. Wouldn't be the Grand Prix envelope, would it? Sorry, 1 second. That would have been motive. What was this? Notebook page. For it to look like a page of Magnifi's diary. Touch the check button. Could be the forged evidence. I could see that. That makes sense to me. Patient's autopsy report. Every envelope. Magic show ticket. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Is the forged evidence. The reason did Christoph Gavin have for wanting to murder Drew Measham? For the forged evidence. That's all I can think of. Let's try that. Let me little gum save here. Take that. Take that. Take that. Christoph Gavin's motive becomes clear when you consider why the stamp came to Drew Measham's studio in the first place. And why was that? Forgery, Your Honor. Go back 7 years. Drew Measham accepts his first job creating forged evidence. I've seen that before. A page from a diary, wasn't it? Magnifi Gramarie's diary. When attorney Phoenix Wright lost his badge, yes. And this was the evidence he presented to his loss. This evidence is a fake, yes. But did Mr. Wright request the forgery be made? That was never proven. The defense attorney on that case was Phoenix Wright. Who, other than him, drunk with the prospect of victory, could have done it? And why would they? Just out of curiosity, do you remember this letter? This is the first page. And this is the second. Oh, we're gonna read it? Sign the papers and send the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp. Within 3 days, I need not remind you to speak of this now. Those were presented in court yesterday. This letter was sent to Drew Measham by the client who requested that forgery.
The enclosed stamp was none other than the poison commemorative stamp. Drew Measham drew his last breath just the other day. However, the motive for his murder was already 7 years old. 7 years old? The client who requested this forgery was very cautious. He tried to erase anything and anyone with connections to the forgery, to keep them from talking. But he made a mistake.
The stamp was a picture of my favorite magicians, so I kept it. Father took me when I was very young. It was a great magic show. I loved it so much.
The killer's time bomb was delayed. The poison stamp was sealed within a glass frame, where it sat for 7 whole years.
Trucy's like, huh? I don't get it.
Forehead. Do you understand what you're telling us? The one who schemed up the forged diary page was the one who poisoned the stamp. And it was Phoenix Wright who presented the forged evidence 7 years ago. Adding the two statements together, the one who schemed to kill Drew Measham was none other than Phoenix Wright. That's funny, they're gonna try to pin it on Phoenix now, dude. It's not gonna stick. Not on my man Phoenix. Think you can turn this around just because your big bro's watching? Sorry, but that's not how this is going to go down. Exactly. Oh, then how will it go down? I checked through the records on that case when I found this. 70 years ago, just before the trial began.
Oh, old boy. Here. What's this? I don't know. I just got it over there in the hall. They told me to give it to the old boy in the blue suit with the spiky hair.
And one more thing.
I'm sorry to have sprung this on you so suddenly. I received the files from your previous attorney only yesterday. I understand I'm asking the impossible of you. Yes, well, you haven't really told me what happened yet. All we did was play cards. And that was enough.
I see. I didn't even think about that. He was put on the case, yeah, after someone else. The person who was on the case before, I guess it must have been Christoph, I guess? Phoenix Wright was put on the case the day before the trial started. He didn't have time to request a forgery. The day before? Now here's a question. Just who was Shady Enigmar's previous defense attorney? No. That snuck a point. No, this can't be at all. But it is all true. There was another man, a defense attorney with a badge on his collar. It was you, Christoph Gavin!
Order, order, order! I will have order. What is the meaning of this witness? I mean, defendant, former lawyer.
Let me begin by denying this. It's easy enough to look up, Mr. Gavin, and impossible to prove if you can't. Attorneys are registered with the court the day before the trial begins. In other words, no record remains in the court. How exactly did you intend to prove Phoenix Wright's claim?
That would be difficult. I'm afraid this line of inquiry won't yield.
Forehead, are you sure you don't have evidence?
What's wrong with Prosecutor Gavin? He looks clammy.
Evidence! Evidence that shows this man, Christoph Gavin, requested that forgery 7 years ago. Clavier. Just prove it. Clear up these doubts now, or I swear I'm off this case.
He must have thought of some evidence, Apollo.
Prosecutor Gavin looks like he's in physical pain. That darkness. I have to pull that darkness out of him. And proof is the only way I can. What proves Christoph Gavin's link to Drew Measham?
Well, Mr. Justice, you claim Christoph Gavin requested a forgery of Drew Measham 7 years ago. Prove it. It can be proven. Simply ridiculous. Why even discuss it? This evidence does not... Are you telling the truth, Apollo Justice? I am. Then, I say we give him the benefit of the doubt. Very well. But if you're wrong about this, be prepared for a penalty. Your Honor, you do the defense an injustice. Mr. Justice is clearly passionate about his claim. Should the penalty not match his passion? Oh, jeez, dude. It's funny how he can just add more penalty on it. I kind of think it's funny how they do that. I haven't given a penalty like that in a long time. Not since, he was here. I will not dare speak his name. Well, Mr. Justice. Fine, Your Honor. All I have to prove is any kind of link. Something that ties Christoph Gavin to Drew Measham. And I have something that clearly does the job. Oh, my bad.
And I have something that clearly does the job.
None of that was in my head.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Present your evidence. Show us the link between our witness and Drew Measham.
Okay, the link between... It's what's in the envelope? Between the witness and Drew Measham? Is it time to open Phoenix's envelope? Because I don't know. I don't see it, dude. Alright, let's a little gum save here. And I'm gonna try Phoenix's envelope, I guess. Can I like check it and open it? Can we open it? Can I please open it? Oh, interesting. Ah, looky here, a handwritten signature. It says... I can't read it.
That seems odd to me. I mean, isn't a signature intended to show ownership? What's the use if no one can read it?
Isn't it enough if you can read your... Wait, isn't it enough if you can read your own?
Oh, I never thought of it that way.
Okay, interesting thought. Okay, I don't know. We're gonna go ahead and try it though, I guess. Do not open until the time is right. But I feel like we need to open it though if it's gonna be this. Oh, fuck it, dude. We're gonna try it. I mean, I saved. Take that! He said, not very confidently.
What say you, Mr. Gavin?
Yes. What was your name again, Apollo Justice? Your point? I was thinking you should have changed it to forgery. It suits you far, far better.
Forgery, Justice? That's not so bad.
In other words, wrong evidence.
Most unfortunate. Might I suggest changing it to penalty justice?
Look how big that penalty was. Oh my goodness. Way to go, Airpen.
Great, a nickname already.
Pen for penalty. Okay. Let's look back. So it wasn't that. Okay, what links Drew Measham to Christoph Gavin? Christoph Gavin. Oh, I guess it's this? The letter? Why didn't I think of this? Letter posted by Drew Measham just before dying. Poison traces found on the stamp. And it was found in his cell. So we already went over this, though. So... is that... I'm gonna try it. Oh, sorry. We already went over this. I thought. But apparently... this could still be it, though, because I mean, we found it in the cell, and it is from Drew. I'm gonna try it. Take that. This evidence proves there's a link. That scrap of paper. I'm afraid I can't let you submit that. Is there some problem? There is. How could you possibly have that? You couldn't.
Hey, that's Daddy's handwriting.
Oh, did Phoenix forge it?
Mr. Wright's handwriting? What is the meaning of this?
Ah, I see now. Yes, of course.
What do you mean, of course?
I just remembered I had a visitor yesterday. Phoenix Wright came to my cell, except I wasn't there. I think, okay, is this what's happening now? Okay, hold on. Let me make a quick prediction. I think Phoenix is doing this, what he did to Christoph the first time. Because in the first case that we did, we were proving that Christoph had killed Zach Ramery, as we know now. And what Phoenix had done is he forged a piece of evidence that he gave to us and presented, or he had it himself or something, but he presented a piece of evidence that he couldn't have had. And it made Christoph, like, give himself up because he's like, but you couldn't have that. And so he had to, like, basically he admitted that it existed by, like, calling out the fact that Phoenix bluffed with this fake piece of evidence or whatever. So he's, like, using forged evidence to, like, kind of like get karma against Christoph for forcing him to use forged evidence in a way by making him expose himself just in order to expose Phoenix, I guess, in a way, or whatever. Or I guess Apollo in this case, because we're the one that's actually using it. So pretty interesting thing. I think that's maybe what's happening here, because if he's going to tell us, like, well, you couldn't have that letter, it's like, well, then you're admitting that this letter isn't really forged and that it actually exists. You know what I mean? Which means that you're admitting that the link is there, even without me actually having the letter. I just had to, like, convince you for a second that I had it or something. Anyways, that's just my thought. Phoenix Wright came to my cell, except I wasn't there. Phoenix Wright? When I returned, I saw he had something of mine in his possession. Of course, I had no intention of letting him get away with reading my private mail.
Mail? You mean this letter was in your cell?
No. However, it appears Mr. Wright has yet to be cured of his bad forging habit.
Well, if it's a forgery, it's not a very good one. The handwriting's terrible.
That's funny. This is Mr. Wright's reproduction of what was written in the real letter.
Reproduction?
When Mr. Wright visited Christoph Gavin's cell, he brought with him a small video camera. What? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, we found out that in his hat the whole time it has had a little camera. He recorded all that stuff. He recorded his entire conversation with you, Mr. Gavin. And the contents of your personal mail.
Regardless,
this mockery of a piece of evidence will never be accepted by the court. Evidence based on a video a man with no authority whatsoever claims he took.
A man who happens to be an ex-attorney suspected of forgery. Prosecutor Gavin. Prosecutor Gavin? As embarrassing as this is for me to say, I'm afraid my brother is incapable of making rational judgments at the moment. Your Honor, your decision, please. The defense's claims is denied.
What?
Only actual evidence is permitted in a court of law. Please remove the defense's evidence from the record. Better luck next time, Justice.
Yeah, but the jury knows about it now, right? That's one of those things where it's like, once you submit something as evidence, even if it's said it's kicked out, like the jury still saw it, right? The jury's the one that ultimately has to decide here, too. Maybe that's why... That'd be interesting if that's why Phoenix decided this has to be the way that we do this, because there's no way it's going to work without a jury, because he's going to be able to weasel his way out of it.
Well, we've certainly taken a detour from our cross-examination, but the defense appears to be lacking proof. I'm forced to end the cross-examination of Christoph Gavin at this point.
Apollo, do something!
I'm thinking, but without evidence, I don't have anything I can use on him. Very well. This ends the special witness cross-examination.
Oh, it was Clavier. Whoa, dude.
The show's over, yet the crowd screams for more.
I feel like I just want to play this one. Nope, that's not what I meant to play, but that's so cool. Where was my Gavin one? Here it is. Boom. Hell yeah.
But, you know, also order, you know. The show is over, yet the crowd screams for more. Only now do I understand why. Prosecutor Gavin. Frankly, I'm relieved. This has been bothering me for 7 whole years. And I'm tired of this whole youthful angst scene. Now is our chance. Let's clean out the family closet, eh, Christoph? Clavier, you're spinning out of control. Calm yourself before you say something you'll regret. Spinning out of whose control? Mine or yours? Take a moment to consider everything you've built. Your reputation as a prosecutor. Your fame with the masses. You could lose it all, Clavier.
Apollo, did you see that? He's trying to press Prosecutor Gavin.
Prosecutor Gavin, try to remember what's really important to you. You amuse me, Forehead. I couldn't forget what's really important to me, even if I tried. In fact, I haven't. Not even once. 7 years ago.
Finally. You just couldn't resist, could you, Right? Resist what? Presenting solid evidence? Might I request we put a current cross-examination on hold? The prosecution would like to call a new witness. State your name and occupation for the record.
I'm familiar with the trial. I've watched the video several times. Didn't you find anything unnatural about it? Unnatural? Well, you did seem unusually well prepared. I mean, Mr. Wright had only just presented this evidence. And the next moment, you call in Drew Measham. It was almost as if... Almost as if what?
Funny. Didn't even occur to me to wonder. But now that I do, I see there's only one possible explanation.
Almost as if from the very beginning, you knew Mr. Wright was going to present that evidence.
Ah.
Yeah, I mean, of course. Like, that definitely, I feel like I've noted that, like, first thing.
Correct.
I knew that if I applied the usual pressure, Phoenix Wright would eventually come up with that forged diary page. Don't do this, Clavier.
I knew because you told me, Kristoff. What?
Get out of here, Papa Snake.
It was the night before the trial. Clavier. Kristoff? Odd seeing you at the prosecutor's office the day before the trial. Ah. I won't be appearing in the trial, actually. Huh? Why not? I won't be facing off with you on your first trial, apparently. But in exchange, I brought information. Information? The attorney who will be there in my place tomorrow is not to be trusted. Don't even give him the benefit of your respect. Listen. I want you to call in a special witness. Then, I wondered about it at the time. How did Kristoff know so much? Prosecutor Gavin. Kristoff! We were supposed to face each other in that trial. A fair fight, brother to brother. I deserve that much. You let me borrow the victim's belongings. You showed me all your research on the case.
The victim's belongings?
Which would have included Magnifi's diary, wouldn't it?
Mr. Gavin?
My, Clavier. You disappoint me. You find trees, yet miss the forest. You're the one missing the forest, Mr. Gavin. You can't sweep this under the rug, not anymore. Tell me what was going on behind that trial. Why not? I have achieved what I came here to do. I see no harm in a little reminiscing.
Apollo.
I think we're finally going to shine a light on the black belly of this thing, Trissy. We've done everything we could. I hope it's enough. 7 years ago, the day before the trial, I visited the detention center at the request of my client, Zach Gremery. Two cards. One card. Showdown time. Enough. You lose, Kevin. Thanks for the work. Now go. To be honest, I don't know what his reasons were to this day. As far as I could tell. He dismissed me as his representation because I lost in a game of poker. I could come to no other conclusion.
Daddy used to say something. If you want to know a man, you have to compete.
Zach wasn't watching his points or the cards. He was watching the man behind the cards, Kristoff Gavin.
I couldn't believe it. Phoenix Wright. A second-rate attorney who relies on luck and bluffs. He dismissed me and went with a pitiful excuse for a man. He deserved to die for that error alone. Wow, is this really gonna be like how the... It's not gonna be like somehow tied to Apollo's mom and stuff? I mean, she's gotta be Lamia Roar, right? I mean, there's still time. Hold it! So the one who requested that forgery was... Oh, I'm not admitting to anything. My point is, these two men shamed me, and I could not forgive that. Phoenix Wright and Zach Gremery both deserve what they got. So you asked Mr. Measham to forge that evidence. So you could win. But then when you were dismissed as Zach Gramery's attorney, you used your forged evidence as a trap. You fed me information about the forgery you made. Then you gave your dirty, your dirty evidence to him. Your dirty, dirty evidence. You're free to imagine what you will. My point is that I had imagined, my point is that all I had imagined came to pass. Everything went perfectly. Incredible. If I wasn't laughing, I'd weep. Prosecutor Gavin. Perfectly? You're mad, Christoph. Stop fooling yourself. What are you talking about, Clavier? Tell me, how did that trial end? Cancelled. When the defendant vanished. Ah, I get it. So, Christoph, you've been living in fear for 7 years. What? You were afraid your forgery would be revealed and your reputation trashed. You couldn't leave things to chance. So you watched everyone involved in the case for 7 years.
You know, he's always felt like he was being watched. That's what he said. Every day for 7 years. But I felt it too. Journalists sure he is being watched, end quote. Don't you wonder why Zach Gramery got rubbed out after 7 years? Right after coming into contact with me?
Well, wait just a minute. Zach Gramery was seen by this reporter. How is that possible? Was he alive after being gone for 7 years?
Finally. I knew this moment was coming. I just didn't think we'd get here so fast. Zach Gramery, gone missing for 7 years. Trucy's father.
What's wrong, Apollo? Go get him.
Not Bruchel. I'll never sleep tonight now.
Oh, Bruchel. But, he's a really cool guy, end quote.
Right. Leave it to me. Allow me to refresh the court's memory. 6 months ago, Christoph Gavin was charged with murdering a mysterious traveler.
I remember him quite well. Shady Smith, was it? The real Slim Shady. Poisoned in a Chinese restaurant.
Tragic. It was not Chinese. The details don't really matter right now. What matters is that traveler was Zach Gramery.
What is it, Apollo?
Wait, did you not hear what we just said, Trucy? Awkward. This is the moment she's supposed to figure out that her father was the victim of the very first case in this game. And she says, what is it, Apollo? Oh, no.
Huh? Keep going. We'll talk about it later.
Okay. Tracy, are you okay, girl?
Did she already know?
Is he not dead? Is he somehow not dead, dude?
Someone please explain this. I'm so confused. Why isn't Trucy surprised? Mr. Justice, can you explain this?
It all started 7 years ago. The great magician, Magnifi Gramery's death started it. Magnifi Gramery's death, and his student, Zach Gramery, the suspect. Whoever defended Zach in court successfully would be famous beyond belief. Thinking that, Christoph Gavin did the unthinkable. He forged evidence.
Drew Measham.
Actually, it was his daughter, Vera, who really did the work. You took precautions when you had that forgery made, didn't you, Mr. Gavin?
Precautions?
To keep people from talking, of course. These two know too much. Leave them alive and there'll be nothing but trouble. That's when you planned your poisoning of the forgers. Atroquinine. Applied to a commemorative stamp. But luck was on Mr. Meesham's side. The bomb didn't go off.
His daughter? She saved him by taking the stamp, I see.
It's taking you this long, Judge? My goodness, dude. Get with the program. But that wasn't the only bomb he set up. The Eridani nail polish, of course. You noticed something when you requested that forgery. When Vera Meesham is nervous, she has a bad habit. A tendency to bite her nails.
Ah.
That nail polish was her good luck charm.
She was almost kidnapped once. Since then, she's been... well, you can see for yourself. She refuses to leave the house.
That person gave me a good luck charm for when I absolutely had to go outside. It protects me.
Yes, apparently she received something. A gift. She won't tell me what it was. It was from that client. One who wanted that note made.
It was his insurance.
Insurance?
As long as she lived quietly at home, there was no danger to her. But what if she had to go outside? If she ran into any trouble, she'd become nervous. And the nail polish would do the rest. This time bomb sat there for 7 years. And then they went off almost simultaneously. If you're finished. May I return to my cell now? I'm not accustomed to standing in for such a long periods of time. Mr. Gavin, have you heard a single thing I've said? Oh, I listened quite closely to your little tale. Quite an entertaining piece of fiction. What? Clavier, surely you understand. We're back to the evidence. The lacking evidence. Nothing proves Nothing proves a link between him and the atroquinine that took Drew Meesham's life. Wait, why are we jumping to this? I feel like... But the letter had to do with the evidence. Right? I thought, no. What? I'm a little confused with that. What about the restaurant? You killed Zach Gramery to keep him from talking. I killed no man of that name. Read over the report again if you like. The victim was a traveler by the name of Shady Smith, about whom we know little else. You can't seriously think I knew he was that particular fugitive. Okay, then why did you kill him? I plead my right to remain silent. Remember, this court did not convene to put me on trial. The defendant's name is Vera Meesham, suspected in the murder of her father. My trial has been finished for 6 months now. I'm afraid we have strayed considerably from our purpose here. This court concurs with the witness. It is defendant Vera Meesham who is on trial here.
No, but we're doing so good, Apollo!
As long as there is no evidence to support the accusations against him, this course of inquiry cannot find Vera Meesham innocent.
Your Honor, Phoenix Wright spent 7 years collecting this evidence. You still don't get it, do you? Let us assume there was poison in the nail polish. Who, then, was responsible for causing Vera Meesham to bite her nails? What? It wasn't me, I know that much. The one who brought that poison to her lips was you. What? No, that's not how it works. Evidence is everything. There was nothing more. That's not how that works. I believe this discussion has reached its conclusion. Your Honor, Mr. Justice, you have performed admirably well for a novice attorney. I respect your partner Phoenix Wright's determination as well. However, without direct proof, you have nothing. Isn't that right, Clavier? Unfortunately, yes, Christophe, you're right. That is, you would have been right until now. Oh, Clavier, come on, buddy. What? Did the news not reach your desk in solitary? The eyes of the nation are on this courtroom today. This is the trial case for the new judicial system. That's right.
I'd totally forgotten.
The juror system. Right? Like I was saying earlier, we have to convince them, not the judge. Right? Jurists, you say? The current judicial system has been deemed too closed off from society. This new system attempts to inject the wisdom of common citizens into the law. Common citizens? Wisdom? Is this some kind of joke? What could we possibly gain by doing this? Entrusting our judicial system to a mindless emotional mob of irrational mouth breathers. Damn, dog. Common citizens have something called common sense. Common sense is not restricted by the law. Nonsense! There is only room for two in this court. Me and the law. Keep the riffraff out. Out, I say. Ooh, I don't think the jury's gonna like hearing that, Christophe. I don't know what they do, but I don't think they like it. They're not in the court, actually. They're watching everything by video camera. How can you allow this? Incidentally, the one responsible for making this happen was Phoenix Wright. Phoenix Wright. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Damn it all to hell. You animals, you blew it up. Oh, you blew it all to hell.
So, everything was leading to this. Of course. Right. 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 Right! Dude, that was badass, dude. Oh my god. Look at that transformation, man. I won't accept. I can't accept. This is no court. Law. The law is everything. Law is absolute. You'd let ignorant swine soil your courts. Christophe, it's over. Clavier. The law is absolute. You can't be serious. What? Odd. I thought you spent your life looking for loopholes. The law isn't absolute. It's filled with contradictions. The law is the end product of many years of history. The fruit of human knowledge. Like a gem, polished to a gleam through trials and errors. It is this fruit we receive and pass on and face in our time. And it is always changing, growing, nurturing. It is our task as human beings. Except for you, Christophe. You aren't changing. You've stopped. You're not needed anymore.
I couldn't think of anything to say. They all said such cool stuff. Maybe because I still haven't seen enough. But someday, I'll know what law is. And I'll fight to change it if I have to.
But will we get to see that, though? Because I don't know that there is another Apollo Justice game. I hope he still stays in the story.
I see no need to further prolong this trial. This began as the trial of Vera Measham, accused of murdering her father. The painter, Drew Measham. However, several other incidents were reviewed and we seem to have reached a conclusion. Before this court declares a verdict, I await your decision. Jurist of the court. For the death of Drew Measham, how do you find the defendant, Vera Measham? Innocent or guilty? I turn to you now to consider this matter.
October 9th, 12:48 p.m. Jurist chambers. Oh. Who are the jurists? Are there going to be people we know? That'd be interesting if it's like Lotta Hart and Wendy Olbay. This ends the trial for this case. Only the verdict remains to be decided. Defendant Vera Measham is currently in intensive care. If the decision cannot be reached today, it may never be reached. The factors involved are simple. Did the defendant poison her father that night? If so, she is guilty. Or was there another reason for Mr. Measham's death? Did another person poison him? If so, she is innocent. A panel has been provided for each of you to input your decisions. That is all. Number 6. Please, wait! Yes, jurist number 6? There's something in the jurist handbook here. Persons involved with the case may not be jurists. That is correct. And I have looked into all your dossiers. None of you were involved with the development of the case. With the development of the case? I see. Does that answer your concern? Should we know this person then? It's time for your verdicts. Make your decision in the case against Vera Measham. After 7 years, the truth is ready to be heard. Judge wisely. Judge well. Oh, Lamia Roar is one of the jurists. She was number 6. And so as Lamia Roar, we're picking one or the other? Judge the defendant wisely. Okay, we're going to save here, a little gun save here. So, I mean, I'd say she's not guilty. Why would I ever say she's guilty? You know what I mean? Would the game be trying to pull a fast one on me and I'm supposed to say she's guilty? Because she's not, right? Right? Right! Alright, here we go. And then it shows the bracelet, if in case you didn't get it yet. Because I totally called that. So that was the reveal. So that was saying that not only was that Lamia Roar, because we could see her veil in her face in the reflection. So we know that was Lamia Roar. But it just confirmed that I was correct. And that Lamia Roar is Trucy's mother because she was wearing the same bracelet that Apollo has. Because she had 2 and she gave one of them to her son. And she kept the other one. So, boom! Got it! Called that. I mean, obviously. It was obvious. Not that impressive, though. And so a verdict was reached on October 9th, 2:14 p.m. The first verdict under the jurist system. Innocent. By unanimous decision. The record will show, I guess this is like the past, that when the verdict was announced, special witness Christoph Gavin laughed. A laugh louder than any ever heard before or since. He laughed. A laugh that echoed in the halls of justice, lingering for what seemed like hours. October 10th, 8:30 a.m., the morning after the trial. In an intensive care ward, a true miracle occurred. Vera Measham opened her eyes. October 10th, 10:12 a.m. Hickfield Clinic.
Vera, she's okay.
Vera, I'm so glad.
Don't cry, Apollo. I'm happy too, and proud. You did well, Apollo.
You lasted a few hours. Impressive.
When I thought about, what if Vera,
Hey now, don't you start crying too. Sorry you had to see us like this. Vera?
Thank you so much, Apollo. Thank you.
No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have pressed you like that. If I hadn't, you never would have bitten your nails.
No, I was wrong. Staying locked inside like that, clinging to my good luck charm.
Vera.
When I opened my eyes and saw you, I finally understood. It's important to be a part of the world. To see things with my own eyes.
Looks like that poison had some effect after all. Killed off whatever was holding Vera back from life.
I knew you'd pull through, Vera. I mean, that's what Apollo was fighting for the whole time. Your future. I won't forget it. Here, let me thank you.
No, really, it's okay.
Oh, look, it's me!
That's awesome. That is a cute picture of Trucy. I like that.
I love it, thanks!
Is that me?
It's just his hair.
She really captured your essence, Apollo. Well, I think so, at least. That reminds me. Do you know where the other lawyer is?
The other lawyer?
Oh, you mean Daddy? Except he's not a lawyer anymore. It's my fault, isn't it? I'm sorry. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. No, it's okay. I'm through looking away from the things I've done. I hope I can look him in the eyes again someday and apologize.
I'm sure he'd be happy to hear that.
He brought all those things for me when he came to visit earlier.
You mean that stack of videos?
Mr. Wright finished watching them all?
It's funny. They just reused the same background from earlier. And they just like give it a reason to be there. I like that they do that. It's actually kind of funny.
You know, I knew my real daddy was alive.
Huh?
I was there 7 years ago, remember? I was the one who helped him vanish from the courtroom.
You did what? How?
I'm not telling. He promised me that day he went away.
We may not meet again for some time, Trucy. But know this, I will be watching, and one day I shall return. You're the next Grammary, after all.
Oh, Trucy.
In the end, he couldn't keep that promise, could he?
It's okay, Phoenix is my daddy now. Even if he can't really play the piano.
That he can't.
Oh, and I've got you too. Even if your voice is kind of loud sometimes.
Glad I made your list.
Hey, come to think of it. Where is Daddy? The one who can't play. Do you know, Apollo?
I think he said he had to meet someone.
I wonder. Maybe it's a new mommy. Teehee. Oh, Trucy? Yes, Vera? I was wondering. Could you show him to me one more time? It's, Sir Hat, was it? Oh, he's not been knighted. Yet. Here goes. Do us an impression, Mr. Hat.
Objection! Ahem. Not loud enough. I like the Miss Magic underwear better anyway.
That's magic panties, Apollo.
No, it's Feeny.
So, your memories returned.
Mr. Wright, was this all your part of your plan too?
I don't know what you were talking about.
When I lost my memory, I was reborn as La Mirror. But you knew my true identity, did you not? That is why you chose me as one of your jurists.
Ah, you're thinking into it too much. Besides, there was no guarantee that regaining your memory would make you happy.
Of course it was a happy thing. For so long I thought I was alone. But now I know I have children. 2 dear children. I'm so proud of them. This too, I think, is thanks to you.
Are you going to tell them?
They do not know?
Nope. They don't know their mother. They don't even know their siblings.
I will go to them when the time is right. Until then,
Don't worry. I'll take care of them for you. They're very important to me, too. A little annoying at times, but still.
I have to keep an eye on her, at least. Because I'm the only one who knows how she really feels on the inside.
Your bracelet.
Yes?
I've seen a lot of mysterious things these past 7 years. But your bracelets were the strangest of all. Did you not know they were siblings, Bruno? Was that the first time you heard that? we learned that last week. I remember meeting him half a year ago now in Christoph Gavin's office. And then I met you. 2 fates destined to intertwine, and I was there when they crossed. I'll never forget that.
Such a small thing, that bullet. It had tore who I was away. "10 years ago, during a simple rehearsal. It was a miracle no one died, but I didn't survive that accident. That is why I left the troupe, my family. Now my memory has returned and I am myself once more. For the first time, I am glad to be alive, Mr. Wright."
Speaking of miracles, Vera Measham regained consciousness this morning. I can only hope she's as glad as you are.
It is a strange thing, fate. Sometimes a life is taken. Sometimes a life is spared.
You know what I've been thinking? People don't die that easily, really. As long as they've got something worth living for. And that's pretty much the end of my story. For now, anyway. I've still got a long way to go, and this power of mine, well, it needs some work. But there's hope now. We'd lost it, but somehow we found it again. That's why people are smiling again. Hope. Yeah, I think I'll keep at this lawyer thing a while. Oops, training time, gotta go. Cords of steel, here comes justice! That was a good game. Hell yeah, dude.
I'm glad you're staying with the agency, Apollo. It's like I found my long-lost big little brother. Oh, and don't worry about Troop Grammary. Trucy's on the case. Now that I have this, thanks to Daddy.
Are we gonna open that? Or oh, and we already knew what was in it, right? I forgot about that. Trucy Grammary? Frankly, I've got my doubts. But Hat Grammary? That sounds great. Or whatever he said. I forgot. That was like Zach giving her the permissions to do all the grammary stuff. It's not every day you get a trial that rocks harder than this gig, yeah? That's why it's over. The Gaviners are breaking up. The news caused a run on tissues at supermarkets nationwide. Why? What? Okay, because girls are crying, or people are. You are the real stars now. I look forward to your next jam session. I like the picture dropping animation. I think that's pretty cool. Well, it's finally over. You know, thinking about it, I've been a piano player longer than I was a lawyer. Now that everything's sorted, I've got time on my hands. Maybe I'll take some lessons. Or maybe I'll take the bar exam again. Wouldn't he be able to get his badge back? Shouldn't they like reassess now that there's been new evidence that's been presented in that case, right? Emma! I feel like I haven't got to see Emma this whole time.
So I was standing around eating snackaroos the other day, when I got this crazy idea. What if they were golden? You could augment the crunch, and better yet, oh shit, and the power of science. Although the preservatives might be 100% safe.
I'm so glad Emma was in this. It just sucks that, I mean, I hope that Emma's in it, like, going forward in the other games, too, because I don't want this to just be, like, the only time we got to see Emma again. I'd just still be, again, disappointed because we never get enough Emma. We need more Emma.
In unlikely event you are wanting a Russian feast, the only thing colder than restaurant is borscht. But if greater challenges be... Oh, damn it.
Talking too fast for me.
Then come to the hideout. You know who to ask for.
She was a pretty cool character, too. She was kind of like a spy, assassin kind of person. Oh, I forgot about her. So, Kentucky Pastries is getting back to the Eastern roots. Spread the culture.
Yo, boss, culture time!
This is how we write root, capiche?
But we're still about giving back to the community.
Yo, boss! Oh, I just too fast. I can't read that shit. Come on. And this is how we write people, all right? I forgot they were making a bakery. That was the whole thing with them. I thought Waki's paying any attention. Oh, kids. Yeah, that case didn't really tie back into it. That one was just an extra one. The whole, like, Phoenix getting hit by a car thing didn't actually matter for the last case, did it?
But Zoe, Chinese characters on cake is a fly idea. Man, you want to make it today, you gotta keep it real, you know what I'm saying? Yo, that's why I made the OG cracker for real. I know it don't look like no cracker, G. What, you want me to call it an OG muffin?
I almost read all of that. It goes so fast. I don't know where all that this is about food. You asked me, this the only one food that noodles forever. What? I got a new one too. See, this time I put a big chunk of salt in the bowl. Why pretend? Eldoon's noodles is about the salt. Salt forever. Eldoon's noodles.
My exceptionally inquisitive nature has won me unequivocal adoration. You see, they used to call me Wesley Stickler and Weasley Sticky Hands. But no longer. I have a new name, one that reflects my true academic nature. Wesley Sicko. Reporting. Yes, curiosity is a sickness, and I am the cure.
I forgot about him, dude. He's a pervert. That's why they call him Sicko, because he steals panties. He's a panty thief. I really like how they ended this one with all these cool effects.
I don't know how to thank it. Light has returned to my life, and with it, joy. I may have lost years, but I have gained a treasure. 2 treasures, in fact. I will think of them when I write my next song.
So she's still like La Mirror. She can still keep doing that. She truly is a beautiful lady.
Brucia, Brucial, Brucial here, back on the beat with another interview. Huh? How do I feel about how things turned out? No scoop yet, but a journalist's confidence in mint condition. End quote!
I've decided to keep painting. Originals only, of course. I suppose I'll have to see a bit of the world outside to find out what to paint, but I know there are good people out there now. I've met some. The door is open. The world is waiting. Thank you.
Aw, look at that. From Vera. That's great. I like that the whole credits was animated with stuff. That's cool. You know what I mean? All right, there it is. That's it. We're done. We have completed yet another Ace Attorney game. Another one off the list. What's that so far? We got the 3 originals. We got the 2 investigations games, and then this one. So this is our 6th title. Man, that's just a lot of games, but we're getting through it, and I love it. So we'll be continuing on with the next one. Let me see, what exactly is the next one? Let's get a little bit of background music while I figure this stuff out. Let's see, here's the timeline. Investigations, Procedures 2. And we could have done the Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. Maybe I'll go swing back around to that one. It's non-canon, so it doesn't really matter. That's why I didn't really bother with it. But next we got 2 more until we got to go all the way back into the prequels. We got 2 more Phoenix Wright games. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Dual Destinies will be next. And then the next after that looks like it's Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice. And then after that, we will go to the Great Ace Attorney Adventures and then Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. And then we'll have done all of the canon games, I think. I mean, based on this list, but who knows if this list is totally complete. And then maybe we can do the Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. You know, we'll see where we're at after that. So we got lots of stuff coming. Check something real quick. All right, let's go over to the chatting screen. Well, thank you to everybody who stuck around this whole time. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I definitely loved every minute of it. Let me go ahead and turn off emote only as well. There we go. Thanks, man. It's been a good time, dude. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, dude. Appreciate you sticking around. I really enjoyed it. Let's see. So, shall we find someone to raid then? Seconds always makes me smile. Aw, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Oh, we have double music going, don't we? That's why it sounds like a chaotic mess. Let me just pause this. There we go. All right, so we'll do a raid. If you guys want to stick around for it, a couple of you guys look like you're still sticking around, so thank you. Oh, and I just in the last couple of seconds lost a follower, so that's how that works, I guess. Done with the game and stopping the following. Or I guess it could have happened, just refresh, but it was during the stream, I suppose. Anyways, that's all okay. Everybody has their right to do that. So let me see if I can find somebody to raid real quick. See if we can't find a friend who's on. Oh, cool. No, it's still on. Let me click in there and make sure they're still going. Fuck that person in particular. This is funny because it's like, why? I wonder why they followed. I guess that's usually where my go-to thought is like, huh. Wonder what made them follow, and wonder what made them, especially tonight specifically, unfollow. Yeah, it looks like they're still going pretty strong. They got Dookie in there tonight. Sweet. So we got 3 of them. So why don't we jump on over to Noah's Archives, dude? A fellow strange planeter. As far as for my schedule for the rest of the week, I guess I can go over that. We have Friday. I will be continuing Paranormal Site. I really enjoyed that, so we guys got to come around for that. We had a really good time. Everybody turned up last week, so I hope to continue on with that. The story's been very interesting. And then over the weekend on Sunday, it's going to be Panda, Noah, and I, and we have talked about doing Rec Room. So I think we're going to be playing some Rec Room. Haven't played that in a little bit, so that'll be cool to play with the guys. And yeah, so that'll be what we're doing over the weekend. And I think I'm hoping everybody will be back to the regular stream schedule next week. You know, I mean, we got to take breaks, but hopefully we'll have all the boys back. And yeah. So let's go ahead and raid on over into Noah. My raid message here. There we go, starting the raid. Thank you guys who have been here to stick around for the raid. Helping me show Noah some love and support. Alright, until I see you guys next time, stay happy, stay healthy. I love you all. And yeah, we'll see you on Friday for some Paranormal Site. Bye-bye.